It's time now for Focus, and from the chilly villages of the Arctic Circle down to the fishing communities of the southern coastline. Polling stations up and down Sweden are gearing up for general elections this Sunday. The current Prime Minister and his leftist Social Democrats could well be in for their worst battering at the ballot box since the First World War. This year's poll has been shaken up by a surge in popularity of the Eurosceptic and far-right Sweden Democrat movement, which could even become the second biggest party in the new Stockholm Parliament. Our team has been to find out more.
By the Baltic Sea, Sölvesborg is a small, peaceful town of 17,000 residents, with an attractive leisure port and a golf course. Robert Linden, who's 71, chose to retire here, and then he decided to get into politics. The detonator, the migration crisis of 2015, and his anger at the European Union's response.
If I was managing a company like this, the board of directors, the chairman, he would throw me out directly. That is mismanagement on a very high level. And I think it's a shame of all the leadership in Europe sitting there in Brussels. I didn't have any plan for immigration.
Some 300,000 asylum seekers have passed through this southern region Skåne in the last few years. Immigration is at the centre of the general election campaign. In Sölvesborg, Robert is the head of the list for the anti-immigration party SD, the Swedish Democrats.
I would be surprised if we don't reach up to even 30.
In the home straight of the campaign, parties have set up stands on the market square. The morning we visit, a debate is underway at the SD one about the consequences of immigration. Dozens of people stop to listen and to give their opinions with no holds barred.
We have too many migrants. We should take care about those who are already here, 20 years. They cannot speak even Swedish.
In the last few years, taxes on pensions have risen. Rolf, who's 83, isn't happy about refugees benefiting from the Swedish welfare system.
Entering the door to the dentist cost me 1,000 crowns. And if I want to have a tooth repaired, maybe 4,000. They pay 50 crowns.
The pensioners are impressed by the SD, which promises to expel more immigrants and to give fewer benefits to new arrivals. Elderly voters are key to Robert, and he takes the time to listen to their daily gripes.
Oh. Exactly. Unfortunately, a lot comes from immigration, which we don't have control over.
Here in Sölvesborg, crime hasn't gone up in the last few years, but residents are still worried how their inner cities could end up. At this association, which runs without any public funding, a few hundred refugees get free lessons in the Swedish language and culture. Those who run it say the Social Democrats, currently in power nationally and locally, didn't have a proper plan for integrating immigrants.
Sweden was not ready for the amount of people who came here. We have the good heart. All people talk about that we will open the doors always. But to do that without to have any plan is dangerous. Many people come, they are used to fighting not by themselves, but their society is fighting. And we must tell them the rules here. It's very important.
We head to the hamlets outside the town. The Social Democrats have an uphill struggle. They could achieve their worst election result in a century, polling less than 24%. At the wheel of her beetle, Johanna, the local candidate. She went into politics to stop the rise of the extreme right.
In the night of the election 2010, the Sweden Democrats were entering the parliament. And I felt that I became angry, actually. I felt that, I need to do something. I need to engage.
From 5% in 2010, the SD is expected to poll 20% on Sunday. Johanna says the migration crisis isn't the only factor.
I think that the economic crisis in 2008 was one of the things that happened, and people got, as Jens says here, they got afraid.
And they think that SD is going to make it like it was before. But
It's a race against time. After going door to door, time for a rally at Volvo's Metal Workers Union. This is a left-wing heartland. In the past, voters here were loyal to candidates like Johanna and Prime Minister Stefan Löfven, tonight's guest. But the welcome is rather cold. Many here say they aren't benefiting from Sweden's healthy economy. Since the financial crisis, permanent contracts are no longer the norm. Industrial companies often use temporary workers.
Many workers don't know if they'll make it till the end of the month. They don't know if they'll still have a job on Monday, if they can buy a car, or if instead they'll be losing their job and ending up on the dole. And with this comes a lot of bitterness.
To stop that bitterness being transformed into ST votes, the Prime Minister and Johanna defend their record in government. 3% annual growth, unemployment of less than 6%. But many feel weeks of negotiations after the election to agree on a Prime Minister. Uncharted waters for Sweden's democracy.
And if you want to re-watch that focus report on those forthcoming elections in Sweden, you can do so in full on our website.